There we go. VSC. VSC.
Welcome to the most dangerous day of Sun Dragon Century.
Look, it's warm enough outside that I've already taken my sweater off. Welcome to fall in Western North Carolina.
I think it's more that it's sunny out and not warm.
Probably. I don't know. Hi, welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The VSC edition.
Yes, as Liz says, and she's quoting some of our customers, the most dangerous day of the week. Lot of going around in circles and back and forth, and I don't know of what we wanted to show y'all today. I don't think I can show. I finished my socks. I still have my shoes on. I'm wearing the socks I just made, which is not a yarn you can get in the shop. We do have a chunky stripe yarn that kind of mimics this, but it's not locally hand dyed. And we did not put that in the mix of today. So maybe we'll talk about that next week. But I am now obsessed with socks. So let me back up for a second. Shot face. Let me back up for a second. Hi. I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in downtown sunny. Yesterday it was foggy, right?
Yeah, yesterday
sunny.
was foggy.
I did hit some fog coming in, but here it's sunny. Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
Yes. That's it. We're done. We were exhausted already by last night's knit night, as people who were there can attest. And one of them said, well, one weekend's not going to make up for pushing yourself for months and months and months. And I'm like, yeah, but
that's not how this game is played.
I am somewhat recovered because I got some sleep, and we'll see how long it lasts.
Hopefully past 10:05 this morning.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Yeah, because we're starting filming late anyway. But today, until November, today is just an appointment day. In November, things shift. And I don't want to go into too much detail about that until we get much closer. Like in a week or so, we'll be like, okay, here's what's happening next week. Because we don't want things to be confusing more than they already are. Okay, so since I'm obsessed with socks and need to make more socks, I can actually knit with yarn from the shop now to make you all sock examples. So we're doing a smorgasbord of thinner yarns today. I have this vision in my head of thin and thick yarns and getting more stuff up online, and I'm gonna shoot for that next week. So, but I also think we might rotate through a bunch of sock yarns, which, by the way, sock yarns can be used for shawls and other things too. But the ones we're gonna show you today, some are already up online and some are not. But what?
All the sock yarn we'll show you today is fingering weight with sock content, but not all fingering weight is sock content.
Yes, okay, we're gonna hang on. We're gonna dive into that in a second. What I was going to say, which I thought maybe she had predicted, was that what we're gonna show you today are some yarns that are designed, they're self-patterning. So they're designed, like my socks are self-striping. That's one version of self-patterning. These are designed to do cool patterns of stripes and maybe like looks like you change color every stitch type of stranded color work, but it's one yarn. All you have to do is
I pulled some out yesterday to show somebody who was asking for, stripy yarn, and somebody else came up after that because we had Vikings and I didn't get the yarn thrown into quarantine fast enough, and she looked at the yarn and she said, so it stripes. And I said, well, it stripes, and then this particular yarn has little dashes that made it look like you changed color and did the stranded color work. And she went, really? I went, yeah.
I am always blown away by how many people don't know this exists. And they're like, what?
The thing that got her was that because it's fingering weight sock yarn, thin, that in order to keep the pattern you have to stay within a certain size needle.
Yeah, you have to, I mean, it'll still do cool stuff on a bigger needle, but it won't pattern the same way that, like, okay, so let's take an example. The 2 yarns we're showing you off today have pictures on them somewhat representing what they do. Some yarns will do this and some yarns won't. Most of the yarns we have either pictures of finished socks or pictures of how the pattern can look, but if your gauge is different, it will look a little different. So like Heritage Prints, we have this on our website already. Remember, whatever we advertise on the VSC is 15% off until the next VSC as soon as I can make the switch. So you need to look for this to appear in the products of the week category if you're looking at the online shop. If it's not there yet, I haven't finished my mojo yet. But you can always ask for it at the shop. Currently today, we're not taking walk-up traffic, but tomorrow we are. So, but this is the little panel. You see that? That's showing you what this yarn will do. Stripies and the dashes doing stitches, showing you what the yarn will do on it. It's very hard for me to advertise these online in that fashion, in that I think I can get samples from the yarn companies potentially, but I don't always trust the colors of their photographs, and the quality of their photographs when I put it into my system might be blurry. So I often will just photograph the yarn. And if possible, I could try photographing it with this band showing. We'll see how that works. No promises though, but no, it will do cool things. Like these socks that I made. Both Amy and I were talking last night on Knit Night about how there was a white chunk that we had no idea had flex in it until I knit with it. And I would show that closer up, but it would involve acrobatics that I don't have the flexibility for. So
I am knitting a sweater. Well, it's been on hold for a while.
With one of our other ones.
With
right?
one of our other self-patterning yarns, and it's supposed to do all the stranded color work looking thing. Well, I'm doing it on a 10 or a 10 and a half.
And she's not making socks.
And I'm not making a little narrow tube. It's back and forth for a while, and it's pooling in the coolest ways. I really like it, but it looks nothing like the thing.
It's different. It's got the same colors.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it. To get back to what Liz was saying earlier about fingering versus sock yarn, it's like not even a Venn diagram. It's more of a bubble and then a smaller bubble inside of it. Fingering weight describes a range of yarns where you get a certain number of wraps per inch if you were going to wrap it around a ruler. It's a certain thickness, and there's going to be a little bit of variance between that from one yarn to another. They're not all exactly the same thickness. That would be a miracle. And different yarn companies and different hand spinners and everything, yep. It can't matter. It's like the shop here is not a magic box. We don't magically just have all the yarns inside. All fingering weight yarns are not exactly the same thickness, but they will be close.
They're within a range of,
and
yeah, a range in yardage to weight.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yes, and that's actually part of what I was about to say is if they're spun the same way, like we have some chainette yarns or other yarns that are in a certain weight category, which is a fancy name for thickness, even though that might sound like it makes no sense. But if they're plied and spun relatively the same way, you'll get about the same amount of yardage, about 400 to 450 yards per 100 grams. So, but we have, okay, here is a perfect example. Damn, Liz, no, I'm kidding. Here we go, I got to it. This by Fiberspace DK is not on sale, even though I'm holding it up as an example, because it's 4-ply is what I meant. DK is not fingering weight. Apparently, I'm not fully awake yet, but I'm not as exhausted as I have been. This is Fiberspace 4-ply. It is not on sale this week. I'm just holding it up as an example to compare to this, because this is fingering weight, but it is not sock content. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for a sock yarn, or if I would say if you want to make socks out of this, use at your own risk, because it's only merino yarn merino wool. It doesn't have the nylon in it, which can add to strength and stability of your socks and endurance of your socks. These might wear out pretty fast. I don't know. Use at your own risk if you're making socks. It's really pretty though. This stuff, and we also have some hand dyes that will function the same way. But what we're advertising today is 75% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. That nylon gives you elasticity and strength. So like your heels and toes might take a little longer to wear out. And since I'm not a sock knitter until just recently, I cannot verify how long it will last because I've just started to wear my own handmade socks. But I can tell you, oh my gosh, I can almost feel the stitches on the bottom of my feet in kind of a cushy, awesome way. And I'm already, like, I made the socks I'm wearing on 1.5, US 1.5 needles, which I think are 2.25 millimeter, maybe, if I remember correctly. I already want to make my next pair on smaller needles, so it's a finer stitch feel.
That's just crazy talk. Like, super crazy talk.
Yeah, but they're so comfy. I gotta tell you, these socks on my feet right now are so comfy. I'm super excited. Anyway, so, and knowing I made them myself. I've been terrified to wear socks that I made myself because, like, putting my feet in them, maybe they'll get smelly, maybe they'll wear out. And now I'm like, well, but if I make a bunch, I can wear my own socks. How cool is that? Okay, so, okay, let's get back to what we're actually, like, let's show off some stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right? You ready?
One more stitch.
This is why I don't knit during the shows, but it's fun to watch people knit, right? Okay. So Heritage Prints. Do you want to? I already read the fiber content. What else do you want to?
For 100 grams, you get 437 yards or 400 meters. They're recommending a 1 to 3. What?
No, a 1 is a 2.25. So that means I made my socks on a 2.5 millimeter probably, which is why I'm like, oh, I gotta get smaller. I'm gonna try a 0. So a good point to make, to interrupt Liz again, is this says use a 1, 2, or 3 needles, what they're recommending for the average knitter. You can go smaller. I'm probably gonna use a 0 on my next socks. You can go bigger. For socks, the tighter you go, the more comfortable they'll feel. But like Liz is making her sweater on 10s, right? Just because it's thin yarn does not mean you are boxed into what it says on the label.
They actually have a crochet recommendation for a C to an E hook. One thing I will caution, because I've played with it, it comes out really, really cool, but it doesn't look anything like the knit thing. Now, I did find a video. I never watched it, so just throwing this out there. Arnie and Carlos have a video on how to crochet self-striping or self-patterning sock yarn and make it look really cool. I saw, like...
I would imagine it involves really, really teeny tiny.
Well, a C to an E is kind of tiny. It's not tiny.
It's bigger than the needles recommended,
yes.
Which is, we have found more often than not, a yarn will say crochet with a bigger hook than you knit with the needles.
Because you're making a thicker fabric.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so just throwing that out there.
We digress.
We digress. We are selling these for $13.75.
And Liz is holding, we're both holding what could be holiday colors.
This is prep.
It's kind of vintage holiday.
I think it looks vintage. Yeah.
It's got some warmer tones in it and teals and stuff. And this is called Holidays Prints. We have Holidays Prints and Stripes. So this is the print one, which I showed you. It's got slightly more classic holiday reds and greens.
I had the stripes, I thought.
I think you do, but I'm looking at the print one.
Nope, that's prints.
That's prints. We have stripy ones. I think they're all up there still.
Yeah,
they're in this. They're with the glitter. They don't have glitter, by the way. No, so this is prints. The stripes one will just what it says. We'll just stripe. Is that a stripe?
Prints. Stripes.
Hey. And then
Yeah. Oh no.
What?
It says prints on the front.
Yes.
Stripes on the tag.
Yes. So it will be in the prints category because it's part of the brand Prints. But this is the Prince Holidays. It's number 80.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that one?
This one is 60.
60. Holiday stripe. It says holiday stripe if it only does
If you look closely, you can see the dashes in there, there's no dashes.
Does the stripe one have?
Oh yeah.
Does it have a picture of how it? There's a little bit of the difference. Not as much fleckiness happening, I think, in the stripe. Anyway, if you are looking for holiday yarn, we don't buy a whole lot of really specific holiday yarn. Just FYI, it's more buy the colors and stripe it yourself. Except for this. This may be the one exception.
We have the wave. The holidays wave.
So, you know, but again, the Cascade Holidays stuff might be the few holiday things that we actually bring in that feel holiday specifically. So now that we've got the holiday stuff out of the way, let's show off what some other colors.
Some other colors we have
that's Fiesta.
The Fiesta.
That's really pretty. Bright colors. I love it. The roses is, so one of the things with self-patterning yarn is sometimes they will only make so much, and then because it has to be all printed on and programmed, it's hard to duplicate, and so they may or may not choose to duplicate it. So like we have, this one is roses.
I think we only have 2 of those.
And this one doesn't have a sticker on it. I'll have to fix that, but it's color number 31. I think it's called roses, and it's all reds and pinks, and very limited quantity. And I don't think we can get it back in. Just FYI, but 15% off this week. We have
Purple Smoke.
That one's been very popular. We've reordered it a couple of times while the run is still in stock. Dissonance. It's kind of fun. It's got oranges and greens and grays.
Flames. It's reds and yellows.
If
and
you
oranges.
Like fall foliage type stuff, that is fantastic. It's very sun-dragon colors. I would love to make socks out of a pair of one of these, and I have to figure out which one. So, you know,
Stormy Sea is all teals and dark grays.
And that one I think is this is the end of the run.
Yep.
So, is that Boston or is that Independence? I was about to so Independence is red, white, and blue, and a little bit of gray. Even though the 4th of July has gone by, you can be patriotic anytime.
This one, I think, this is Denver.
Denver, like the Denver Broncos colors, a little bit. I don't know if we have any Boston.
We don't. We have Baltimore.
Baltimore. See, they did all these different cities, and some of them still exist. Boston was very Independence looking as well. I don't think we've done that one. Go ahead.
Yep. This one's Seattle Seahawks.
Right? Sportsy type stuff. I don't have any more near me. She's kind of over there.
Mod
that we think we have 3 of, but we can find 2 right now, and we're going to keep looking.
Mermaid.
That one's pretty.
It's teals and pinks and greens.
And pinks. It's the one that's right here. Boop. Hello.
And Azul.
That's just
blues.
Blues, teals.
Yeah.
All very pretty. So, and a lot of these are already up online. The holiday stuff might be new, so it's not in the online shop yet, but that's part of my job today. Is before I transition it to the product of the week category, I will take some more photos and get them up online. Even the ones we only have a couple of, I'll try to get those online as well. So that's one.
And a note we should put on there is, depending on how long the run has been, we may or may not be able to get them back in stock.
Yeah, so the whole idea of pre-ordering, like I'm not going to turn that button on the site, call the shop if we're out and say, hey, can we still get this? And we will check for you. But it may not be an instant turnaround on the answer to that. Because we can look online to see if it's still listed as something we can order. And then
they could be back ordered.
They could be back ordered, or they could be out, and the website hasn't caught up yet. We're living through a pandemic, people. Times are tough, and not everything is instantaneously updated. I wish. Okay, so that's the Cascade that's already there. And again, I have to decide. I might just go look at inventory and see what we have a ton of and make my socks out of that. I don't know. I haven't thought that through yet. But the other self-patterning yarn that we are going to advertise today is, I'm going to see if I can uncover. Yeah,
They're kind of sunk down.
they're sunk
there.
down. These little guys. This is our version of a zobber ball. So I'm gonna actually rotate this stuff.
All three of our yarns are sock
Content. That's fantastic. Again,
even though one of them we
fingering weight, within that there is sock content. Not all sock content yarn, well, all sock content yarns are fingering weight. Not all fingering weight yarns are sock content. So these guys we are going to talk about right now. These there's a famous sock yarn company that makes I think it's Regia, makes the zobber ball, and that looks all hand balled and self patterns. These are by Wisdom Yarns, a subsidiary of Universal Yarns. And they're called Wacki Sacki. Kind of looks like a hacky sack, I guess. I don't know. But self-patterning, I'm going to show you. So this yarn, here's how it knits up. Isn't that cool?
They are 462 yards per 100 grams.
So a lot more yardage.
50% merino, 25% bamboo, and 25% nylon. So
a little bit of bamboo in here. That's kind of nice for people who don't want 100% wool.
Yep.
Little softer, smoother.
Yep. They're recommending a US 2 for knit, and for crochet they're recommending a 5, or not a 5, an F5. Yeah.
Which actually
is
F5 means it's like a US 5 needle.
Yeah.
Is what it means. Not 5 millimeter.
Yeah.
3.75 millimeter.
Machine wash, dry flat.
That's another nice thing. Sock yarn, you probably want something that is machine washable. So, although I keep just talking over Liz. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I will probably hand wash my socks, but technically they're machine washable. What's that?
They are $18.95.
Regular price.
Regular price.
Yes. And I think these are cute, and I want to knit with them. But see, here's the thing with the Wacki Sackis: we get variety packs. Because they're not our hottest seller. Not everyone is a sock knitter. So we get the variety packs to test them out. We have random amounts of these left. We may or may not be able to just get another sample pack. And it may or may not come in the same colors. So be forewarned, grab them while you can. Liz's, which one?
This one is Batty Berlin. It's blues and yellows and reds. It looks similar to Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And the other...
Kind of got rainbow colors in it, but not all the rainbow. Yeah, right? And some grays and blacks.
Some grays and blacks.
This one is Absurd Aqua. Lots of teals, grays, yay. But yeah.
This one is Wild Woods. It's got purples and it's almost a gray with a green tint and browns. And
they're mostly grays, but they're worms and warm grays maybe.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know if you can see, and if you're watching this on your phone, that will be ridiculously small. This is Bonkers Bouquet. And we got some pinks and some corals and some grays.
Did you already do this one? Absurd Aqua?
Yes, I did. Because I put it there, and that's where you grabbed it from. My fault.
This one is Zany Viney.
Ooh, that's got purples and greens.
It looks like berry picking or thistles, but on the lighter spectrum, it's brighter colors.
This is Silly Twilight, and it's blues and kind of a coral color and a little bit of some teals. Cool. Crazy Tiger. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna hand that to you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
This one is brighter
sneeze.
teals, brighter corals, brighter oranges. Anyway, it's really
It's pretty. It's.
Bless you.
I had an itch in my nose. It's gone now.
And the last yarn we're going to show you
Mm-hmm.
is also sock content. It, however, is not merino. It's just roving gangs of sheep.
Roving gangs of sheep, but does have the nylon if you wanted to make socks out of it. We have talked about it before. It is Queensland Perth, and the reason we're bringing it up today is we got a couple new colors. We actually got them in a couple weeks ago, and I silently put them up on the website. And yeah, so So
I will go over stats.
She gave me one of the new ones.
I will go over stats just so we know what they are. It's 80% superwash wool, 20% nylon. You get 437 yards for 400 meters. They are recommending a US 1 to a 3 or for needles, or a B to an E for hooks. So
even smaller.
Smaller
on the
hooks.
Yeah.
We are selling them normal price for $14.75.
And these are the 2-ply. So here are 2 new colors. That one is all shades of green, and this one is like it's teals and yellows, and it's kind of rainbowy, but it's like the teal jewel tone rainbowy. The rainbow, we had 2 rainbows before. We can talk about it in a second. And then this is like jewel tones.
What's funny is, let's see, this is Kings Canyon.
Yeah.
That's Rainbow Bay. We have 4 rainbow-ish now.
Because well, the Tasmanian Bay sometimes looks more rainbowy and sometimes doesn't. It's really weird. Like that. I'm about to make a hat, the Alaska hat with the Tasmanian Bay as the background. It all depends on the dye lot. Like this looks like a dark rainbow, but then the one I'm using, oh, it's over there. The one I'm using for the hat looks more like Aurora Borealis. It's more focusing on the purpley parts of this.
Yeah. And then we have Alice Springs and Yarra River.
By the way, the new colors that we just only described
are
the green is called Swan Hill.
Yep.
And the jewel tones is called Wineglass Bay.
And then you're also planning to do something with Gold Coast.
Yes, this is Gold Coast. It is blues and browns. And for a while now, I've wanted to make a fingering weight colorwork sweater with this and navy, and a solid navy. It's still on my bucket list. Someday. I have to actually finish one sweater before I start another. And if I didn't have a million things going right now. So a reminder of what we've done with Queensland Perth. My first Papillon was made with Rainbow Reef. You want to hold the Rainbow Reef up? That one? It's the brighter rainbow with more of the oranges, as you can see. And that took a skein and a half, basically. We have kits. The kits are not on sale. The individual yarn is. This hat, which is called the Paradigm Shift hat, was made with a charcoal gray and Kings Canyon, which has more vivid purples in it than the Rainbow Reef does. That's how I would describe it. They're really close.
We've also done Fall River Shawl.
Yes. Oh,
in the Alice Springs.
In the Alice Springs, which is almost a vintagey Christmas thing. We have showed that off before. I'm not going to run and grab it, but it's really pretty crocheted. It's going to have a more muted vintage Christmas look knitted. So we've done cool things. It's got the 2-ply that shifts through colors. So it's kind of like our Feederbrook Farm over my shoulder, but in fingering weight and more mass produced. So instead of our lovely hand dyes, so different price range, right? Fingering weight though. So all 3 of those fingering weight yarns will be 15% off. Remember, you don't have to use teeny tiny needles. You can use bigger needles. That's totally fine. I'm distracted by people outside. So last little things we'll get to on the shopping edition is notions. Got to give you a couple notions. So we got in a restock of a lot of our Mindful collection.
We're still waiting on a bunch of
the new products. We're still waiting on them making them. I'm pretty sure I've ordered them. There's a couple of new products that we haven't gotten yet. But when I was restocking the things that are regular price this week, I said, "Oh, they've got travel scissors. Let's see those." So the travel scissors, which come in this cute little pouch. We haven't stickered these yet, so no. I want to say $7.25 is what I think I priced these at. But look, cute little pouch, zippers open, has a little elastic to keep your travel scissors in there. You could put your stitch markers in with your travel scissors.
It's a generous pouch.
It's a generously sized pouch for the scissors. You can put other stuff in, which I think is really cool. And then the travel scissors, look, they're rainbow. How cute is that? And then my beef with travel scissors I've used in the past is they do not open and shut well. And so I tested these, okay? Pull them out, watch your fingers, close. Some airlines will let travel scissors go on, but check before you go. And then again, what can be tricky about travel scissors is collapsing them again. I checked these. Easy peasy. Open, use, keep your fingers out of the way. I've had them in really old knit kits that I had where I actually had to push on them to make them shut, and that's dangerous because scissors. I haven't actually tried to cut with these, but everything else looks pretty cool. And they're rainbow, look at that, isn't that cool? And they have an elastic spot. This is 15% off this week.
They match the rainbow row counter rings that we have.
Oh, yes. I'm like, what? Anyway, and you know, comes in another little pouch with tissue paper. I don't understand the tissue paper, but whatever. But we since these are a test, we have 5. If we run out, because everyone's like, how cool, call the shop. We can pre-order them for you.
On a funny note, some of the items that we already have in stock are back ordered. So
the wooden needles.
The wooden needles are back ordered.
I mean, they're cool, and they come in a little wood case, and it's adorable. Wasn't expecting that to be back ordered already. I think we only have a couple of those left. But again, this is the one that's 15% off this week. And then I had been thinking, because I have been doing my little cables with my little Britney cable needle. I'm a big fan of teaching cables on the J-hook. But then when you're doing small cables, sometimes you just need a short double point, essentially. So the Britney cable needles, I'm making them 15% off this week. They are my favorite cable needle if I'm going to use a straight one. And the reason is, if you can see that, it's easier to show off. You get a set of 3 different sizes. The biggest one, so for different dimensions of yarn, the biggest one you can see the best, that spot in here for your stitches to reside, and it's a little bigger on each end to keep your stitches from falling off. I think that's fantastic. So, set of 3. I don't know if they don't even really mark on here what sizes they are, but any cable can be done with a needle that is smaller than what you're working with. And the small one here, I'm doing this lovely, the Euclid Shawl by Isabel Kramer, and has little 1x1 cables in it. And I'm using the thinnest one because I'm knitting on, it's running away from me. I'm knitting on a size 7 needle, and I could probably go up to the middle size cable, but I'm using cable needle. I'm using the smallest one. The Britney cable needles, regular price, set of 3, are $6.25, but they're 15% off this week. And just for fun, I thought I would throw in the other wooden cable needles that we have. These are the Cocoknits. And Liz, what do you notice is the difference with the Cocoknits?
The Cocoknits, are all the same width going down them, but they have a metal ring in the middle. Glancing at them, they look the same width. Anyway, they have a metal ring in the middle of them that if you have the Cocoknits Maker's Keep, or any of our other notiony things that have the magnet inside.
I think I have one on my other bag.
You can clip your cable needle to it while you're.
I'm gonna let her do. Yeah, so it's wood and it's straight, no enlarged spots. But the metal in the middle.
I don't have them.
I'm gonna go find mine. While I'm gonna let her vamp a little bit. But the metal in the middle not only helps the stitches not slide off, but it's so you can keep track of it when you're not. Because again, pick them up, put them down with cable needles, you can lose them. Sizes.
There's sizes on the back of here. Sticks to magnet. Contains 5 needles. One is a US 2 or 2.75.
That's smaller than the Britneys.
That's smaller than the Britneys. One is a US 4, 3.5 millimeter. And those 2 are 4 inches long. Then there is a US 6 or 4 millimeter, and it's 4.5 inches long. Then there is a US 9 or 5.5 millimeter, and a US 10.75, which is a 6.5 millimeter. even though they say it's a 6.75, which is weird.
They might have made it a slightly different size.
Length is 5 inches, so the long ones are your bigger ends. And
look, I can keep all of them on my
bamboo
maker's
cable
feet.
needles hold stitches when creating cables. When not in use, place them on your maker's keep magnetic bracelet or any magnet to keep them within easy reach. Needles can also be used to pick up stitches when using the Cocoknits method of sweater construction. Made of bamboo and nickel-plated steel.
So how much is this sucker? There's a lot more needles in here, by the way.
Regular price is $14.95.
15% off this week. Thank you very much.
So you're getting a wide range of,
yes,
for all your cabling needs.
Pick out the size that works for you and your project.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put these back. So to review, we have Heritage Prints. We have our version of the Zobber Ball, the Wacki Sacki. We have Queensland Perth. We have the travel scissors from the Mindful collection from Knitter's Pride. We have the wooden cable needles that we have in the shop, the Britney's and the Cocoa Bamboo. And if you're buying online, please, and you can buy online and pick up in the shop, by the way, or you can come to the shop either through a scheduled appointment or on our walk-up days, Tuesday and Thursday, to request the product of the week and get the same discount. You don't have to use the online shop to get the product of the week discount. You do have to ask for it because we might forget, because life is crazy. So all these lovely things, 15% off until we advertise again next week. So yeah, I'd say so. I'm just like, I'm awake. I promise I'm awake. No, I feel much better than like in previous weeks, but I was crashing by knit night last night, I gotta say. So currently we do not have any indoor shopping appointments this afternoon. You got to make them by noon. I don't know if we'll get this up by noon to let you know about that. So we may not be here later in the afternoon, and it's not a walk-up day anyway. So reach out to us especially via email. Rebecca@sundragonartandfiber.com. If you have questions, I'll answer them if I can. We're going to go home probably and try to rest up for our event this weekend, which is the Saturday afternoon sit and stitch, both on Zoom with our shop number as your access code, 828-877-3550, or you can go up to our Facebook Live event. I think if you just go to our page, you can get our Facebook Live event that we will start. So
we also have our regular knit night on Friday night.
Yeah.
What
I was just gonna say it's 1 to 5 on
yeah.
Saturday, but yeah, Friday night before that, like, okay, if we're gonna go through our week, and then we gotta go because I have an appointment coming in a little bit. Going through the schedule of our week. What's tomorrow, Liz?
Tomorrow is Dear Becky and Lizzie edition of the sideshow.
Mm-hmm.
You can send us a question at Dear Becky and Lizzie 35 or Sundragon.
She did what I did yesterday.
Dear Becky and Lizzie, Sundragon Art and Fiber, 35 South Broad Street, Brevard, North Carolina.
Please don't send it to South Carolina.
Please don't send it to South Carolina. Brevard, North Carolina, 28712.
We do live very close to South Carolina, but we're not in South Carolina. But most of you know that. So
if it's an urgent question, you can email me, liz@sundragonartandfiber.com.
Yes. If you write us a letter, we'll get to it next week if it gets here, and which it will. Mail is a wonderful thing. And if it's a pressing question, email us. So that's tomorrow. We have like events all weekend.
Walk-up shopping is tomorrow.
Walk-up shopping is tomorrow. I have not updated our calendar of events, like formal events, on our shop website in forever because I don't have the time and energy. So we just tell you. But if I ever get around to it, I used to tell when knit nights were and everything, and it's just, well, I used to say when our classes were. We had classes every Saturday, and you could sign up, and
Friday.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Friday is in-store appointment shopping, and we do have one.
We have one left currently
left
at 3:00. And then we have knit night that evening from 6 to 9 Eastern Standard Time, that whole Zoom phone number thing. And then Saturday we've got the stitch along, kind of sit and stitch in the afternoon, either on Facebook or Zoom. And Facebook is great if your internet struggles with Zoom connections.
The uploading and downloading and all
the
that
streaming video thing can really bog down some internets. So, but you only see me. You'll hear other people, but only see me. But it could be, it could be nice just to hear people and like just turn it on and sit in it and don't worry about looking at my mug. But you know, I might show off some of the projects I'm working on. Maybe I'll let you know on Saturday what colors I'm knitting with for new socks, because you know, who cares that I have a million other projects to finish? I'm gonna make some more socks. So, but it's with yarn from the shop, so it's okay, right?
I'm gonna try and finish my.
There you go.
Or something. I don't know.
But then, yeah, then you guys, then we're circling back to, I hopefully will kick back up with Sun Dragon tips and tricks on Monday. If you have any suggestions for what I could do a tip or trick on, or both, let me know. I can't always do what everybody wants, but I'm always taking things under advisement of new topics, new things I haven't thought of yet. Often I'll just do things that are related to projects I'm making. But, you know, I'm happy to help you out if I think I can advise you well through a video. And then we're back here again on Tuesday. So yeah. There you go. Cool. Okay.
Fast week.
All the time. Anyway, happy October.
Yeah.
So, oh, and remember, you can do the missing Saf thing. They have, go to their, if I can remember to put it in the description, go to their Facebook page. They have a whole like weekend planned, because Southeastern Animal Fiber Fair would have been this weekend. They have a whole weekend planned of like everybody who is a vendor there or is related to it, who has signed up to do it, gets like a half an hour to just talk about their stuff and what they would have been showing. So you have an opportunity to see things and maybe buy some stuff. Support some artists, you know. They're not all local, but that doesn't matter. There are cool people who are really
lots of
passionate.
Small businesses.
Yes, passionate about yarn and things related. Handcrafters or yarn vendors, or you know.
Well, and that's something you've always said. If we can't have local, at least have small for you know, certain
small
things.
batch dyeing, or you know, supporting small businesses is really great. So we would love it if you'd support us, and we're showing you all these lovely things today. But we want to share the happiness and the wealth and everything with everyone who's trying to make it through this. So, you know. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna sign off. Look later today to see if I've managed to get everything done. And if you don't see it up by tomorrow, call the shop and harass us.
Yeah.
Okay.
She should.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty good, and some of it's already there. Bye.